Good morning, it's a lovely morning. We're nicely into spring now. The rain has hopefully stopped for at least a few days, which is always nice. We'll be starting building an Aquascape Ecosystem Pond. It's going to be having a waterfall, it's going to be facing towards the house. There's going to be an intake bay, which is the area where all the floating debris is going to be collecting around and the customer can easily net it out. I'll turn the camera around and show you exactly what I'll be doing. So walk with me over to where the pond will be dug. So these items here will be moved. I'm going to be leaving an area between the fence and where the waterfall area is. The waterfall, I'm in two minds. It's probably going to be just past that tree, and I'm going to build up the berm there and then bring it in towards here, intake bay on this side here. I've got my electrician coming in a few days' time. I need to dig a trench for him. He's going to be running the cable from the house, but I need to dig a trench over to here for the garage. I'm going to upgrade the power supply to the garage at the same point. I'll be concreting in a post for him to put a double socket on here. It's going to have lights as well, so the pump and the lights are going to be on a new double socket mounted here. As far as the pond goes, I'm going to be marking it out in a moment with my marker spray. I'll show you what that looks like, and yeah, we'll go from there. We'll get the mini digger started up, get this trench dug, and start getting the outline of the pond all dug out. So the 600mm deep trench for the electrician is dug, as you've been watching, and the shrub that you saw me take out from this area I've relocated over there for the customer. So now that's done, I can eventually start marking out this pond. I'll get the Aquascape biofouls set up here just on the ground, give me an idea of the direction I want it to face, and then I can start spraying out the small stream section and then into the pond. Okay, so as you've just seen, I've just made up these large aqua blocks. I've just positioned them there. They are going to basically be the structural void for the intake bay. So this is the main pond area with the P. I'm going to choke it down, reduce the pond entrance into this area. This is going to be 6 to 8 inches deep on here once these are sunk into the ground, providing them almost like a skimming surface when the water gets pulled in towards the pump, which will be inside this vault here. The water will then circulate around in here easily for the customer to net out. He's going to be having fish in here. I do prefer an intake bay when there's going to be some fish in there, because they can easily swim around this shallower section and swim out again. I have had it before when the skimmer boxes, they sometimes get caught in, and after the first couple of weeks you might be sort of persuading them to get out of the weird door, shall we say, until they learn. So intake bays go in there, main pond area there. The square areas here, this was just like my maximum liner size that I had, so I'm going to be shaping it in there. Obviously not going to be doing a square pond. Curving around here, this is all going to be edged with some Core 10 edging and some landscaping bark, so the customer can mow the lawn up to the Core 10 rather than around all the rocks, which is always a bit of a pain. Little stream section here, so this will be a separate piece of liner which will overlap into the pond, which will be mechanically attached to the biofalls. The large biofalls here, the biofalls 6000, is providing all the filtration for this pond. There's going to be biomedia, the bioballs are going to be sat in there, lots of surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow on, colonize on. Water gets pumped up via a pipe from the pump up here through the filter mats that'll be in there, through the bioballs, and then spills out. And that is basically what cleans and polishes the water in these Aquascape Ecosystem Ponds, and then it all gets aerated again out of there. So I'm just starting to excavate out this lower shelf level, and as you may or may not be able to see, there are two collars from a clay soakaway pipe that runs all the way from the house down the garden. So basically it means the shelf on this side is going to be pretty wide. I can't go in any further than that, which is fine. I can make that my main planting shelf. Obviously all these ponds need marginal planting, so this can have an extra wide planting bed on that side of the pond, which is the better side, I should say, of the pond, as it's the far side. You're not going to get any obstructions, so it just means I can make this shelf a little bit narrow here, so we can still get a decent amount of deeper water volume in the middle of the pond. So I finally got the biofalls at a depth that I'm happy with. I've had to compromise. I didn't want it sticking out the ground too high. That'd look ridiculous. Ideally, I'd have liked it another foot back towards the tree, but because of the start of a soakaway under there and the tree root system, it's just impossible. So I'd rather have it this way a little bit more, a shorter stream section rather than a great big anthill of a waterfall popping out the ground. At least at this height here, I can berm that off at a nice sensible height and angle, rather than it sticking up even further and going back towards the tree. So what I'm going to do now, make the fittings up inside the biofalls. There's a plug and a fitting one side, and the male line fitting and coming out with the pipe work, so I can get that out the hole, and then I can start securing this in place here, getting all the soil packed in, getting that nice compacted, make sure it's nice and level, and the pipe will be nicely out the ground. So as you've just seen, I've part filled the biofalls with some water. The reason I do this is, well, two reasons. Adds a bit of weight into the biofalls, so I've got that nice and level, and then when I start compacting the soil around, I know that it's being weighed down by a good few litres of water in there. It's going to hold that in place as I pack all that soil around, secure it in there. The other reason is I like to just double check these joints, the plug and then the hot glued elbow and pipe over here, just before I start packing it in. Just peace of mind, I know those two joints are absolutely watertight, with a decent amount of water pressure weighing down on them. Taking it to that height, I've cut the pipe short there, because what's going to be happening here eventually, I'm going to be teeing off in this corner here. It's going to be a valve. I'm going to have a jet pushing water towards the intake bay here. Likewise, another one there, just so I don't get any dead spots on that side. And then the pipe will continue around into the pump. So it's going to basically come out the pump, controlled jet with a valve here, another one here, then onto the biofalls, down the stream. The stream's going to take care of this side of the pond. I just wanted to make sure we've got no dead spots on that side. So the jet is just going to push that water, disturb the surface, push it into the way of the main flow through the intake bay, and then we've got very good water movement, circulation and filtration all the way around. So I'm going to get all this compacted in now. That's level, and I've got no leaks. So end of week 1, 5 days, just me. I don't think I've done too bad. I've dug this trench, the electrician's put his cable in, I've filled it back in, excavated all of this, and we've got that set in place. Biofalls already, obviously it's going to have some more soil, but I like to do that as I work my way up the waterfall. So yeah, all in all, I've filled an 8-yard skip, and I'm halfway through another one. That's all barrowed through the back. So yeah, I don't think I've done too bad really in 5 days. So next week you will see me getting the underlay in, the liner in, the overlay, getting that all set in the bottom of this pond, and then we're going to start rocking it in, getting the gravel in, start shaping this pond, get this waterfall worked up. There's aquatic planting, there's terrestrial planting, and there's going to be some core 10 border work around here, and then we're going to put some membrane down, and then some landscaping bark on top. So lots to do, but it's been a good first week. I'll see you next week.